Hey, what's going on, everybody? How y'all doing? I got some very, 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 very disturbing news that we need to talk about today. We're going to be talking about vaccines and how DC Council votes to allow vaccines for minor children without parents' approval, consent, or knowledge, and how the educational system is partnering with the government to allow the distribution of vaccines in public schools. Yeah, you heard it. You heard it. So the government and the educational system is targeting children to decide who will be recommended to take the vaccine. And based on those recommendations between the school and the government in DC, the children are being coerced into taking vaccines without their parents' permission, consent, or knowledge. This law was just recently passed over the Thanksgiving holiday weekend and the Black Friday holiday. So while families were celebrating Thanksgiving or Turkey Day, the government in DC passed a law to allow our children, we're talking 12, 11, 10 years old, to make decisions after being coerced and manipulated to receive vaccinations. Yeah, it's horrible. It is horrible. Whatever happened to parents having a right to decide their children's education, religious upbringing, medical decisions? Well, all of that's been taken away. And it happened in Washington, D.C. And so the goal is to create an atmosphere nationwide where children are being subjected to continued coercion and mass manipulation regarding these vaccines. Also, on the rise is the demand for citizens to begin taking the vaccines, the COVID-19 vaccines, or coronavirus vaccines. And they're targeting children, underage children, and they are targeting senior citizens. So what's happening is it's devastating. It's devastating. How do you take the rights away from parents? How do you manipulate children into taking vaccines? Now, these vaccines, specifically in the DC area, they have been implementing the measles vaccine, mumps, and the rubella virus vaccine. Okay, so this is the vaccine. These are the vaccines that they are manipulating our children to take. This bill was passed by the DC Council on Tuesday, October 20th. Okay. Now, again, these children are as young as 11 years old, and they are receiving vaccinations in school without their parents' consent, and in some cases without their parents' knowledge. Okay. Now, these children are not capable of making informed decisions, especially when it comes to vaccines, right? They are not capable of making informed vaccination consent. Okay. So they are being, again, manipulated and coerced into taking these vaccines. And also the other component is If the parent has religious grounds to object to these vaccinations, they are no longer honoring those religious grounds for vaccinations. They are vaccinating your children anyway. Anyway. And it's horrible. Additionally, when we talk about sexually transmitted diseases, your children are also receiving treatment for that as well, without parents' knowledge or consent. When we're talking about this vaccine passed 12-1. 12 people voted yes, one person voted no. Now you've got doctors that are sending the vaccination records to children's schools rather than to the parents. They're sending them to the schools, and they are seeking compensation directly from the insurance companies or the insurance agents without involving the parents at all. So this is something to petition. This is something to look deeper into. Don't take my word for it. The Washington Post covered it. They covered the story. You have various people that are spearheading this vaccination passage. You've got Council Member Vincent C. Gray, Democratic Ward number 7, who's a chair of the health committees. He shepherded the bill on vaccinations to passage. Okay. So you might want to contact the Democrat in Ward number 7, the council member Vincent C. Gray, who is a chair of the health committee. Now, that's horrible. That's horrible what the agenda that they are pushing forward. It is it's horrendous. So parents, if it happened in D.C., it can happen in your state as well. I'm encouraging everyone in the U.S. and outside of the U.S. to speak up and speak out against this grave injustice against humanity. These are human rights violations. This is a grave injustice against humanity. This legislation should be challenged. It needs to be challenged. And I'm encouraging everyone to challenge this legislation because, again, if this happened in Washington, D.C., it can and will happen in your state. Imagine all 50 states here in the USA passing a law that allows underage children as young as 12, 11, 10, 9, or even 8 years old make ill-informed decisions about their medical care. God, help us all. Help us all. Now, we had, of the 12 people that voted yes for the vaccination, you had a council member, Trayon White Sr., Democrat Ward number 8, who voted against the bill and saying, quote, parents have a fundamental right to direct the upbringing, education, and care of their children, unquote, end of quote. And he is right. So I want to acknowledge Council Member Trayon White Sr., Democratic Ward 8, for his courageous efforts in speaking out against this grave injustice against our people, against humanity, and against our parents. Again, parents have a fundamental right regarding their children, their health, their religion, their education, their overall well-being. When you take this parental right, this fundamental right away from our parents, away from the parents of those children, what message is that sending across America? What message is that sending across the world? Our children are being coerced and Um, and and I'm just at a loss of words. I am at a loss of words because the children don't understand the ramifications and the procedures um, that that's happening to them against their own will. They don't understand the ramifications of these vaccinations, the harmful effects that these vaccinations could have on their health. They don't understand it. They don't understand. Medical professions and schools should not be allowed, should not be permitted to coerce impressionable minors into procedures capable of causing injury or death behind their parents' back. Now, this is what this council member, Trayon White Sr., has shared and has been sharing. And his voice should be echoing across America right now. His voice should continue to echo in your homes, especially if you are living in Washington, D.C. and those surrounding areas. Now, not only is D.C. At risk for these issues, but you also have representatives of the D.C. chapter of the American Academy of Pediatrics strongly supporting the bill also. And it's just it's horrible. It's horrible. It is really horrible. Now, you have some states already that are allowing children to access vaccines without their parents' permissions in various states like Alabama, Alaska, Idaho, Oregon, and South Carolina, which I was not even aware of. I was not even aware of this. Minors can make all healthcare decisions for themselves in some cases. And the ages of those children, it varies. It varies. Some children are 16 and older making those decisions. A lot of the children are much younger than that, preteen even. So for the minors that are 16 and older, you have states such as California, Delaware, Minnesota, and New York that are able to seek vaccinations on their own. And this is usually in the case of sexually transmitted infections. So, again, family, we have to address these concerns. We have to address these concerns. The time to speak up and speak out against this injustice is certainly now. There's no greater time than now. Again, check out the Washington Post. You can go to WashingtonPost.com and you can look up the article that is entitled DC Council Approves Bill Allowing Children to Get Vaccines Without Parents' Consent. It's on it's on their website right now. And I'm sure that's not the only place where it has been publicized. But again, while families were celebrating Thanksgiving or Turkey Day and Black Friday, they were secretly passing laws to force our children to receive vaccinations. What are your thoughts on this? We want to cover this in an upcoming podcast. We'd love to have your thoughts. We'd love to have your input on this specific topic relating to vaccinations and children's rights. Vaccinations and children's rights. Yeah, what are your thoughts on that? I mean, can you imagine politics in your kitchen, politics in your home, politics in your at your place of employment, right? Now we've got politics in the medical industry, politics in the medical industry. Wow. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. This is horrible. It's horrible. Okay. So guys, we love to have your feedback. Send us an email at hrjcommittee@gmail.com, hrjcommittee@gmail.com. Send us an email. We love to have your thoughts on this topic, and we love to have you as a guest on our show to talk about vaccinations and kids' rights. And additionally, if you have any questions or suggestions for our show, topics you like to hear or discuss on our show, please drop us an email. You may also send us a text. Again, send us a text at 314-252-8834. Send us a text and let us know that you are interested in being a guest on our show. And in addition to dropping us an email, you can find us on YouTube as well. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel, Human Rights and Justice Coalition. Human Rights and Justice Coalition. Check us out, like us, subscribe to our channel, and you'll be glad that you did. We have some great and exciting news for you guys as well. We are working on our online store. We are fundraising for our organization, and we need your help. We're looking for your support. We are looking for monthly subscribers, monthly sponsors. We are looking for you. We are looking for you. So please drop us a line. Send us an email at hrjcommittee@gmail.com. And you can follow us wherever you stream your favorite podcast, Apple. Definitely check us out on Apple. Subscribe to us on Apple. Subscribe to us on our YouTube channel, Human Rights and Justice Coalition. So, guys, I want to thank all of you all for tuning in to this special show, and to all of our listeners around the globe, we certainly appreciate all of you guys. We couldn't do this without you, and I know we're gonna miss a few countries, but I will do my best to name some of the countries that I know of off the top of my head that are listening to our show. We've got residents in Rwanda listening to our podcast. Of course, the United States, Nigeria, thank you. We want to thank our friends in Ireland, our family in Ireland, for listening to our show, our podcast. We want to thank our family in the United Kingdom, in Guyana, Italy, Australia, Singapore, Germany, Turkey, Ghana. We want to thank all of you for listening and supporting our show. Please continue spreading the word, and we will always be grateful for all of our listeners around the world. We wouldn't have a show if it wasn't for you. And so we cannot stress that the gratitude enough. So please continue to spread the word. We are covering stories around the world, around the globe. So please bear with us as we continue moving forward with our podcast. So again, we appreciate your due diligence. Please like, subscribe, follow, and those of you that feel led to donate to our organization and to our podcast, we would certainly appreciate that. We are a non-for-profit organization, a newly formed non-for-profit organization, the Human Rights and Justice Coalition, and so we're pretty much grassroots in this with this new organization that we have founded. So we are looking to share news. We are looking to continue to fight for social justice for victims that have had their human rights violated. So with that being said, guys, we want to thank you so much again for tuning into our show today. We are talking about vaccinations and kids' rights. Vaccinations and kids' rights. Our kids have a right. Our children have a right not to be coerced into vaccinations, right? It violates ethical laws. It violates your human rights. It violates it's so many violations on many different levels, guys. We have to put an end to this. This is wrong. This is just wrong. There's no other way of looking at this. This is just absolutely absurd. Absolutely absurd. Definitely. So again, tell us your thoughts, guys. Tell us your thoughts. We'd love to hear them. All right. So until next time. Glad to hear from you. Looking forward to your emails, and we're looking forward to your feedback as well.